Kxng Anon, we back. We here. So I've been thinking about it for the past couple of days because, you know, a lot of people doing their little year anniversary thing of Kendrick versus Drake thing. Maul did his little debate with DJ Head, which I didn't watch it. I seen a few clips of it. It went exactly how I thought it was gonna go. Whereas Maul's gonna bring up these points that can easily be disputed, but he's gonna paint it in a way that makes it seem like it's the truth and not just something that you just made up in your head. And DJ Head is just gonna laugh at him and tell him, you do know that I know the person, like the real context is right there. It's in your face. But if you want to ignore it and just come up with whatever narrative you want to, that's on you. But the truth is always gonna be the truth. But the company man put out a little supercut. I guess of he said it's like a piece of everything that he covered surrounding the beef. So I'm gonna kind of like give my opinions on it. It's gonna kind of be my version of the 1 year anniversary type thing, because I could just sit here and like give my thoughts on everything. We have the structure of, I'm gonna kind of react and give my own thoughts and opinions and some context, which he made later on in the video, give his context on, but give some context, maybe debunk certain things, you know what I'm saying, that surrounds it. And then we could get some clips out of it or whatever like that. But we're going to have our discussion about Kendrick versus Drake. Even though I've tried to talk about it a little bit, but not as much, because I don't want that to be, the focus of my channel or whatever like that. And I don't want to, at a certain point you're going to have to, but I really try not to attract the people that's just going to say stupid shit and expect me to reply to it all the time. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But let's get into it. Kendrick Lamar versus Drake SuperCut 1 year anniversary special. So we're just going to talk about, give our own little commentary and plot points, whatever like that. Some things we might agree with. I'm pretty sure we're going to agree with some of the things Company Man has said. Some things I'm like, oh, well, maybe he means this or whatever like that. It just all depends. But let's get into it. Shout out to Company Man. I'm a member on his channel. He done like a couple of my posts or whatever like that. So shout. I actually he asked me to send him some music like weeks ago. I don't know if I sent it to the right email though. I never got his email, but I found an email that looked like it's his. It has his picture and everything on it. Hopefully that's the right one. But shout out to the Company Man. You know what I'm saying? What's up, King Dog? Shout out to the Company Man. But let's get into it. I'm gonna turn the speed up a little bit.
As promised, here is my supercut of all the breakdowns that I released around Kendrick versus Drake, the rap beef that captured the world.
Appreciate you, King Dog.
This is
what's up?
just the breakdowns again. So this is.
I don't know why I said hi. Is that a wave? Is that what's going on? Okay, it said hi.
These are just the
How you doing, Armando Coda?
I had over the course.
Said hi. Okay. Augusto Morelli. How y'all doing?
About 4 videos. And it turns out it's about 12. It's about 12. So, but overall,
appreciate y'all for stopping in.
At the year that was, particularly 2024. And this is how I decided I wanted to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of this great Shakespearean shakedown, this greatest rap battle in hip hop history. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for the support. This channel wouldn't be where it is today without each of you.
How you doing, bro? How you doing? Just watching a Company Man's video about the Drake and Kendrick, give our thoughts on the things brought up.
To add context to the calamity. If you somehow missed it, punch yourself in the face, because rap has run amok. Years of tension, sneak dissing, and outright disrespect has spilled over into rap battle world, a dystopian present cluttered with chart-topping diss tracks, polarizing apologies, uproarious memes, mommy texts making.
We got to think about this too. Everything that's going on involving this, everything that's going on today, the things that we're talking about, discussing, all the lawsuits and the rants on Twitter and all this stuff, it all spawns from about 1 month. 1 month basically changed the entire course of everybody, way they interact and they move around and all that shit. Like the way Kanye is acting, well, he's been acting this way, but it spawns to that entire month of April 2024. The stuff with Drake, 2024. J. Cole and him trying to get all his shit going. April 2024 into early May 2024. Kendrick's on his run, breaking records on his tour and all stuff like that. All spawns from April 2024. Like that month of April 2024 has to go down as one of, I'm not going to say but one of the craziest months in hip hop history. One of the most consequential months in hip hop history. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's really crazy when you think about it. The beef, the diss tracks took up 1 week of that entire month, but the chatter and the apologies and all this shit took place in the middle of March to the very, very beginning of May. About a month, 4-5 weeks, really did that much to just shift everything, and it's just crazy to think about.
And AI advertorial. It's all happening during a conversation on the Download podcast. Host Justin LeBoy asked Ye the question at the forefront of many minds after witnessing Kendrick Lamar, Future, Metro Boomin, The Weeknd, A$AP Rocky, Rick Ross, all cultural titans unleash bars and quips aimed at Drizzy Drake, the Canadian MC. That question, why? Why is everyone going at Aubrey?
It's with Drake. That's the whole thing. It's like morality and likability are not connected. They're usually the opposite. Usually the most immoral people.
How you doing, Sahin? Sahin?
I like Drake is not because he's a good person. You know, it's like we saving the world. Like you take.
I just hopped on, so
alters everything because that's
maybe a little bit. We just reacting to the video, doing pauses. This man really cutting grass right here. It's super loud now. I gotta keep turning up the TV.
Together to fix the numbers and all that.
This with Drake, it's like morality and likability are not connected. They're usually opposite. Usually the most immoral people are the ones that are most likable. Keep going there.
Because not just about
and the crazy thing too, he's talking about fixing the numbers or whatever like that. Kanye started the conversation of fixing the numbers and some people manipulating the game and doing certain things. Kanye kind of started that conversation and people kind of overlooked it because Kanye is Kanye. You can't take what he said seriously and all the stuff like that. Moderator, I am the only one. You're the only one. He kind of started that conversation about how Lucien and Drake have been colluding for years to dominate certain things or whatever like that, which if you're in the music industry, if you're an artist, if you know how the things work behind the scenes, like as an artist myself, as a person that's had these discussions with A&Rs and producers and this person and that person, agencies that specialize in this type of stuff that Kanye was talking about, I know that this is something that's been going on for a long time, especially since Spotify kind of became a thing. Spotify is one of the most easiest places to bot streams and manipulate numbers and manipulate the algorithm and stuff like that. And then getting on the radio, people say it all the time. It costs about $250,000 to have a #1 hit record. Understand what I'm saying? About $250,000. All right, man. Appreciate you, King Dog. A hit record. So the people that know how the music stuff works, how you become one of the artists with the most hits and all stuff like that. People who know. You know what I'm saying? So Kanye brought up this conversation, and then all of a sudden, when the tides kind of change and Kendrick gets the better of Drake in this battle, Drake tries to flip the narrative to say Kendrick's the one using the bots. His fans start pushing bot like us. They botted the song. The public has never talked about bot streams and fake streams as much as they have when Drake accused Kendrick of doing it. But when Russ for 10, I've heard about, the first time I heard about Russ was like 2017, 2018. Russ, ever since I've heard about Russ, has always been talking about manipulating the game, manipulating the charts, buying streams, buying record sales, this and that. He's been talking about that for so long, and people were saying, we don't want to hear that from you. You're just delusional. You're just mad because you're not as successful as these other artists. Even though Russ is one of the most successful independent artists ever. But they say you're just mad. You're just making things up. That's a conspiracy theory. But as soon as Drake says bots, everybody's like, yeah, bots. Then it's insane. It's really crazy how
elimination of Drake. You know, it's like we're gonna tear the head off whoever they got that they thought was in control on shit. I look at this, it's like they running the number, they running on radio, they got the smash, and then it's like now they're not playing Lil Wayne no more because he ain't, he's not directly connected with Lucien.
To the uninitiated, Lucien Grange is the head of Universal Music Group and arguably the most powerful man in the business of selling sound. Reportedly, Drake signed a $400 million deal with the super label covering recordings, publishing, merchandise, and visual media projects.
360 deal.
A LeBron-sized contract that's essentially a
now think about that. Let's talk about this. 360 deal on steroids, which means every single dollar Drake makes, a portion of it, no matter what it is, whether it's record sales, merchandise, ticket sales, all that, UMG gets a piece of it. Keep that in mind. Well, I won't even say keep that in mind. 360 deal, which means UMG gets a cut of every single dollar Drake generates, right? So if that's his deal, in what world would it make sense for UMG to sabotage Drake's reputation so that they can pay him less money on the re-up? Because if they do that, they're only making less money for themselves. Am I wrong? If I get a cut of every single dollar that you make, I give you $400 million and I recoup because anytime you sell tickets, anytime you sell albums, anytime you sell merchandise, anytime you do anything, I get a cut of it. What sense would it make for me to collude to sabotage you so that you make less money so that I make less money? That makes no sense. Yet the lawsuits is all based around that thing. And it's so stupid. Every time I hear it, oh, they trying to conspire against them. It's a smear campaign against Drake. No, it was a rap battle and Drake lost, and that's all it is. That's all it is. But for some reason, they're trying to make it like, oh, it's this big thing. They're trying to take him down. They're trying to sabotage him. No, he's sabotaging himself. The person that done the most damage to Drake outside of Kendrick is Drake.
And if you believe the shot Ye took at Drizzy on the Like That remix, Drake is locked in for the rest of his life. What did you say, nigga? Now, the Louis Vuitton Don does a lot of stuff in life and in his conversation with Justin LeBoy. Following a chaotic 2022 where it seemed like Ye was doing everything in his power to cancel himself, he's bounced back in spectacular fashion. He just
to do it again in 2025.
Independently with Vultures, his collaboration with Ty Dolla $ign. He also got a #1 song, Carnival, incredible track, and
I still never heard that song. Still never heard Carnival.
Hey y'all, this Ye, and it's my commercial. And since we spent all the money on the commercial spot, we actually
And that's the funny thing about Kanye. It seemed like his plan was to purposely sabotage everything so that he can be independent and do his own thing. When he was doing all that stuff in 2022. But now he's independent doing his own thing. He's doing the exact same shit, if not worse now. So what are you doing? What is the purpose? What are you sabotaging now?
Goes down in history. I love it. Now, the fact that Ye went #1 within a supposedly controlled system after cutting corporate ties in a fiery blaze of synthetic anti-Semitic glory immediately raises a question as to how controlled the system actually is. But let him tell it, he's reaping the benefits. During the conversation, Ye says he took home more than 7 times the revenue with the success of Vultures in comparison to the #1s he's notched back when he was signed. 7 times the revenue. From that perspective, the used-to-be billionaire isn't impressed with Drake's LeBron-sized lifetime deal, which he lampooned on the Like That remix, stating, "Where Lucien, serve your master, nigga. You caught a little bag for your masters, didn't you? Lifetime deal, I feel bad for niggas." Jesus. You can say a lot of things about the artist formerly known as Kanye West, but Ye doesn't typically...
And that kind of goes too. Because people want to keep saying, having this idea, oh, Drake been having issues with the label. Drake was shouting out Lucian Grange almost on every album. Drake bragging about his deal on almost every album. Even during the rap battle, he was bragging about his deal. So why all of a sudden, after you lose the battle, you make it seem like there's this conspiracy and this thing against you to tear you down and this and that? It's really a battle with yourself. It's really a lifelong battle with yourself. But you can't take accountability, so you're like, it's the label's fault. It's Kendrick's fault. It's Grammy's fault. It's the Oscars' fault. It's the NFL fault. It's not me. That is narcissism at its finest.
Charges of immorality and fixing the numbers and all the allusions Drake has made in the past to sleeping with Ye's ex-wife on songs like Search and Rescue and In My Feelings, and it's a long list. And suddenly it makes sense that Ye would lay out his abhorrence this explicitly and on wax, already in his music. Jesus Christ. Let's break it down. On his reply diss track,
and that's the biggest problem right there, is people keep wanting to say, oh, it's jealousy. Drake's the most successful artist of all time and people want what he got. First of all, as an artist and an artist that knows other artists, a lot of people don't care about fame. People don't care about having the most hit records. A lot of people, I want to say not everybody, but a lot of artists don't care about being the most popular artist on the planet. A lot of artists don't care about having the most #1 hit singles because a lot of artists understand you have to pay for that. All most artists want is to be able to make a living off of their art. Whether that's making $250,000 a year, $500,000 a year, $1 million a year, $2 million a year. That's all most artists want. I want to make enough money to where I don't have to work a full-time job and I can focus on my craft. All that, having all the #1s and having all the money and this and that, most artists don't care about that. Kendrick said it in was it Euphoria? Only you want to be famous. That's what I'm saying. So this whole idea of, oh, it's jealousy, they want what he has, is very tunnel vision, and it's very, you don't know any real artists, you've never had conversation with real artists, or you think that artists want a lot more than they really do want. You understand what I'm saying? And the truth of the matter is, you've been sneak dissing artists for years. You've been apparently sleeping with artists' girls for years, or hopping in artists' girls' DMs for years. You've been just doing suspect things, disrespectful things to artists for years, and they were sick of your ass. That's what DJ Head said. That's what DJ Head, and Maul's response was, yeah, that sounds like something that could happen, but I don't think that's what happened. But it's literally what happened. Literally what happened. If you go through Drake's lyrics, most of his lyrics consist of issues with women, sleeping with somebody's girl, dissing somebody's girl, dissing somebody over a girl, slick jabs at random people for no apparent reason. That's been what he's been doing since, 2025? Since Scorpion, maybe even before that. A lot of what he's been talking about has just been him sneak dissing people. You think people ain't gonna be like, oh, that's what you're doing? Before the battle even happened, there were talks that Future was upset about Drake and 21 Savage project. That was a rumor way before the battle even started. That was a talk that behind the scenes Future did not like Drake partner with 21 Savage. And a lot of people was like, oh no, because of What a Time to Be Alive. But then when you go back to it, it's like, oh, you was sneak dissing him. So then when Future comes back and does the same thing, collaborates with an artist or collaborates with a producer and throws shots at you, all of a sudden, he's the jealous one and not you. It's so crazy how the manipulation, the goalpost move.
Women named Tokyo, Future is dating. When he says, shout out to the hooper that be busting out the gritty. I know why you mad, nigga. I ain't even tripping. All that.
Ja Morant. What Ja Morant got to do with it? Why'd you bring him up?
About Memphis Grizzlies star Ja Morant. Both Drake and Ja reportedly dated a woman named Johanna Leia. When he says, Rolling Loud stage, y'all returned, that was slick as hell. Shit'll probably change if your BM start to kiss and tell. That's allegedly about Travis Scott, who was hype manning on stage
and one song.
When Future and Metro debuted like that.
And this isn't new. Drake's been doing this for years.
When he says, I be with some bodyguards like Whitney, that's a double entendre. One layer is Whitney Houston, who starred in The Bodyguard with Kevin Costner. Whitney's also, though, the name of Kendrick Lamar's partner and the mother of his children, Whitney Alford. On Future and Metro Boomin's follow-up, We Still Don't Trust You, A$AP Rocky aims at Drake on the song Show of Hands. Reportedly, that's a response to Drake dropping subs about Rihanna, Rocky's baby mother, on Fear of Heights and Virginia Beach. And a few years ago, his beef with Meek Mill was reportedly sparked over Nicki Minaj. A few years before that, his beef with Common was reportedly about Venus Williams. He even mentioned Pusha T's wife, Virginia Williams, on Freestyle. Pushed his face in on Son of Adidon. It's all happening. Look, Drake has a 12-year pattern of playing with people about their women, and now it looks like he's playing with their money. One of the reasons Rick Ross says that he unfollowed Drake on IG is because Drake sent a cease and desist letter to French Montana, presumably over the track Splash Brothers, which was supposed to be on French Montana's 2020.
And let's talk about this real quick. If you're sending cease and desist to people over songs, and there have been rumors that Drake always threatens to sue certain people. They say he threatened to sue Degrassi if they didn't change how his character was perceived on the thing, whatever like that. That was just, a rumor, whatever like that. I'm not saying that's true, but that's just something that was said. When you take into context that, you put in the context of the cease and desist, and the fact that that's not the only time Drake has sent cease and desist out. Think about that. It's not too far-fetched in totality that Drake would sue his record label after losing rap beef, because they're not making him look in the best light, or they allowed something to happen that they should have stopped. Just saying. And I also had this thought too. A lot of times when music videos are shot, because this goes into the UMG lawsuit and him saying that UMG didn't step in and stop Not Like Us from dropping, and they were pushing and supporting that and this and that, all that. For the most part, when music videos are being shot, when music videos are being done, a lot of the time that goes in and has to be approved and has to be, most of that comes from the budget of the record label when you shoot a music video. Even if you shoot your own music video and pay out of pocket, a lot of the times the label will what's the shit called? What's the fucking word? Reimburse through maybe taking that out of the budget that you owe, whatever like that, if you pay out of pocket for a music video, whatever like that. And then they also have to approve the music video and, copyright, all the stuff like that. It's a process. You know what I'm saying? The label has to have some type of whatever. The only person that shot a music video during the beef was Drake. Somebody had to pay the director. Somebody had to pay the videographer. Somebody had to pay all the stuff like that. Not saying the label directly paid for everything, but I'm pretty sure at some point the label had to reimburse or finance or do something to cover up the costs of that music video for Family Matters. So it don't sound like UMG didn't pick a side. They let you shoot the music video. They let you put the music video out. So when exactly does the conspiracy against you start? You gonna say it started at Not Like Us? So you telling me they approved the music video that week, let you drop it, let the music go out, this and that, and then the next day they decide, now fuck you, now we're supporting Kendrick? I don't think that's how it worked. I don't think that's how it worked. I remember when Not Like Us dropped. It felt different. It wasn't label manufactured, inorganic, felt different. It felt different. When my phone was blowing up, Kendrick dropped again. Kendrick dropped again. Reaction videos everywhere. It was a different feeling when Not Like Us dropped compared to when Family Matters dropped. It was even a different feeling when Meet the Grams dropped right after. You know what I'm saying? But when Not Like Us dropped, you just felt something was different. You just felt it's over. You felt it. That wasn't label push. That wasn't inorganic. That was real shit. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just
mixtape.
Interesting. We're gonna keep going.
During the outro to his Drake Diss, Champagne Moments, Rose explains, "You sent the police and hated on my dog project. Sent the police and hated on my dog project." Larry Jackson, head of Gamma, who reportedly has business ties with Drake, confirmed on the Joe Budden podcast that actually happened. Fresh and Drake have collaborated on numerous projects over the years and seem to have a great relationship. Clearly things done changed, so Ross joined in on the onslaught, calling Drake white boy in the song and on IG, poking at him for getting liposuction, which is factual, coining the term BBL Drizzy. He's also been falsely accusing Drake of getting a nose job because he didn't want his
father's nose.
That's actually
Crazy.
a pretty good flip. Michael Jackson didn't like his nose either. In the aftermath, though, Drake posted a screenshot of a text conversation that he had with his mom.
Where he called Rick Ross racist, which is insane.
Nose job. You look the same to me in the kitchen today. I can't believe you would get one with
somebody calling a black person racist is one of the whitest things you can do.
I would have got us a 2-for-1 deal if I went, Ma. It's coming from Rick Ross, the guy I did songs with. He's gonna loop me off the Mujaro. He hasn't eaten in days, and it's turned him angry and racist. He's performing at proms for money. It's bad. Don't worry, we'll handle it. He's gone loopy off the Mujaro, doing proms for money. It's turned him angry and racist. Now, the subtext beneath Drake calling Rick Ross racist resonated loudly in certain sectors of Black Twitter, but has been arguably underplayed in this current media environment. I mean, think about this. Rick Ross called Drake white boy, so Drake told his mom that Rick Ross was racist.
That's crazy.
Black people in America who went to white schools, taking white classes with white kids, who were called white boy or Oreo or zebra or white acting or talks proper, who understood intrinsically that they weren't being victimized by racism because it wasn't institutionalized.
Right. It was just a poking fun at somebody.
Used to cut African American studies programs in curriculum or deny
people really don't understand what racism is. That's the crazy thing.
In Louisiana, maybe it's prejudice, maybe it's bigoted, but black people call black people white people isn't racist. It's served at the cookout. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But the supreme irony is that after Drake,
it's just a joke. It's just poking at somebody.
Feels apropos because there's nothing whiter than a white man calling a black man racist. And if that white man says nigga 19 times a song, now it's the whitest thing in the world. Maniacal even. Drake knew what he was doing by posting that conversation with his mom because he's levied similar
painting the narrative.
There was an incident in 2018 where his buy-in was refused at Park Vancouver Casino. The province of British Columbia had recently passed stringent regulations on casinos in an attempt to curb rampant money laundering. According to reports, Drake gambled for a while with his own buy-in and lost the money, so he had a friend wire him more money through Park. Park accepted the wire. He gambled some more, lost again, then tried to buy in a third time with cash, but was refused because the BCLC, British Columbia's gambling governing body, instituted a legal policy stating that any buy-in for more than $10,000 within a 24-hour period requires a source of funds declaration as a measure to stop money laundering in casinos within the province. Park Casino could have lost his gambling license if it allowed Drake to break this law. But what did Aubrey do? He posted that Park Casino profiled him to his 100 million followers. The post reads, Park Casino is the worst run business I have ever witnessed, profiling me and not allowing me to gamble when I had everything they originally asked me for. Let's put this into context.
Crazy.
Scorpion dropped 2018, the same year as this incident. It went 5 times.
I'm not.
Park Casino was in Vancouver, which is in British Columbia, which is in Canada, which is where Six God is from. Drake is Canada's biggest international rap star. In what 2018 world?
I don't even
he get profiled
crazy.
in his own motherland and at a casino.
Stop it. Get some help.
In a statement, Park Casino said, "We are actively investigating this matter and have made several efforts to reach out to the customer and
You want
to discuss
you
the
want
issue.
the you wanted the casino to sacrifice their entire business for you to gamble. That's a different level of addiction. That's a different level of needing your gambling fix. when you accuse a business of profiling because they didn't sacrifice their entire business to let you gamble. Like, that's
A
insane.
productive conversation to resolve this issue. Links in description. But this was big news in Vancouver. Park Casino weathered a barrage of online attacks. They were forced to shut down their Instagram account for a period of time, all because Aubrey merely insinuated to his 100 million followers that he was a victim of racism.
Crazy.
According to one Reddit user whose eyewitness testimony has been confirmed by Canada's CTV, the accusation that he was racially profiled is categorically false. However, if you mean that he was profiled as a douchebag celebrity who treated everyone rudely and with disrespect, then yeah, that's true. Immoral, fixing the numbers, douchebag celebrity who treated everyone rudely and with disrespect, a 12-year pattern of talking about other people's women. I mean, call it what you want, but there's a theme here.
Right.
There's a theme here. Drake knew exactly what he was doing when he told the world he was profiled at Park, just like he knew exactly what he was doing when he told the world that he told his mom that
Rick Ross was racist.
This wasn't some flippant
Painting a narrative.
This was tactical. This was a funny-ass text with dark undertones delivered by a, quote, douchebag celebrity who treats everyone rudely and with disrespect.
Don't trust them no nigga over there.
But in another timeline, I mean, Ross is talking about Drake's nose, which is a disgusting trope. He didn't with his dad, he posted one with his mom. And Ross called Drake and his homies the Shawnee Posse. The definition of racism has absolutely been diluted since Lee Atwater in the right-wing media complex. But imagine if the petty in-him pin Rose is anti-Semitic. In this moment, rappers would have to condemn Hamas before dissing Drizzy. Jesus Christ. Push-ups is an objectively...
And he wound up... And the crazy thing is, what he just said, he said, imagine if Drake decided to paint Rick Ross as anti-Semitic. If you look into the lawsuit that he has against UMG, they're trying to paint Not Like Us as a song, as an anti-Semitic song, saying that they're going at Drake for being Jewish, which is insane. Insane. They're saying that the Not Like Us are referring to him being Jewish and everybody else not. Like, that's some like risky whole shit to be saying that about a song that, like, bro, if you don't understand the context of the song, just say that at this point. Just say that. Don't start pulling at straws to make something seem like something that it isn't. That song is not racist. That song is not anti-Semitic. That song is saying you are doing things that are hurting our culture because you're not from our culture. You don't understand what's going on, which is why you think it's okay to be doing and saying the things that you be doing and saying. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with you being Jewish. It has nothing to do with you being half white. It has to do with how you act and how you behave in this circle, in this culture. That's all it is. It ain't that deep.
I give him credit. I mean, not the first verse.
Ain't nobody for being Jewish, but don't nobody care that much.
Keys and academic screaming at Kendrick right before the outro. He used Kendrick's former label CEO Anthony Top Dog Tip as a device for disrespect. Tommy drop, you better drop and give me 50. Clever. And it's impossible to hear how the fuck you big stepping with a size 7 men's on and not at least chuckle. I laughed out loud. But the best example of Drizzy's cunning in the heat of conflict is Taylor made.
That's what Drake messed up as as a rapper, as a lyricist. That's what he messed up. Is you're trying to, it's a battle. It's a rap battle. You can make fun, you can poke fun or whatever like that, but there's only so much. When it starts to escalate and somebody's breaking down your character as a human being and your response is to keep saying, you're short, you're small. And he's telling you, well, you have a gambling addiction. You're insecure. You're this and that. You're addicted to drugs. You have weird relationships with this and that. You don't really, you question your, like when this person is breaking down who you are as a person and your reply is, yeah, but you wear a size 7 in men's. You're just like, okay, there's a disconnect. There's something there, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just it gets tricky, and it's just like, okay, bro, you're kind of losing it there. He did try and then the thing is, when somebody gets defensive like that, because eventually Drake started playing, because this is him playing offense. On the offense, he was saying, you're short, you're this and that, let me look at your contract, whatever like that. And then once you get on the defensive side, you start going to extremes. And that's what a lot of people like that do, is when you got them in the corner, they start going to extremes. Far extremes. Oh yeah, well, you beat on your wife. Like, whoa. And then that's when Kendrick is like, well then, let's talk about what you be doing if you want to go that far. You understand what I'm saying? Because on the most part, in the very beginning, it was basically, I know certain things about you. Keep it safe. Keep it. Once you start talking about people's kids and saying, "Oh, you be beating on," right? And the first time that you mentioned, "Oh, girl," he kind of let it slide. He was like, "Hey, look, let's just keep it friendly, bro. That's all it is." And you just kept poking the bear. You beat on your wife and this and that. All of a sudden, he's like, "All right, I guess we gotta go there now." And then that's where you get Meet the Grams, and then that's where you get Not Like Us, and then it's just over with. Because you cross the line when you start bringing up people's wives, and I don't understand people's wives, people's girlfriends, whatever. And I don't understand why Drake doesn't understand that, because this isn't his first time doing that. He does this all the time, and when people get upset, people go a certain way, all of a sudden they're the bad guy. When you did that to Pusha T, and Pusha T did what he did, you were like, "Oh, you crossed the line, you wish death on my friend." He didn't wish death on nobody. He just said, "Hey, how long that going, guy?" Tick, tick, tick. Crazy. But you can't cross the line, and then when somebody matches energy, you point fingers and say, "Oh, you went too far." There's rules to rap battle. No, there's not. If you can just say my wife's name whenever you want, when you could just accuse me of beating my woman whenever you want, when you could make fun of my children, when you could make fun of my uncle/auntie, like when you could just do these things, and then when I rebuttal with the same energy you coming with, all of a sudden I'm crossing the line. It's just crazy. The common theme is manipulating narratives and trying to make people think certain ways that makes things look way different than what they really is.
Over Dr. Dre beat, while taking an Eminem 8 Mile approach, i.e. saying what his opponent might say first, leaving them with little left to reply.
Which is a bad move.
All to attack K-Dot. I mean, he even named the song after Taylor Swift, who released the nation's #1 album the same day. That's right. Drake manipulated the biggest artist in the talisman of the $1 billion Dr. Dre family tree and the Swifties just to go at the Compton Kid. I don't use phrases like nasty work, but that right there, that's the definition of nasty work.
You should have been talking shit.
Now, the weeks following, the Tupac Shakur estate threatened to sue Drake if he didn't take down tailor-made freestyle, because of course they did. In the statement, they said not only is the record a flagrant violation of Tupac's publicity and the estate's legal rights, it is also a blatant abuse of the legacy of one of the greatest hip-hop artists of all time. The estate would have never given its approval for this use. The unauthorized, equally dismaying use of Tupac's voice against Kendrick Lamar, a good friend of the estate who has given nothing but respect to Tupac.
And I saw Maul talking about this, not understanding how it's disrespectful. Maul wasn't understanding how this was disrespectful. I saw that clip. If your grandma died a long time ago, and now you in a back and forth whatever with, even though that's Tupac's obviously not Kendrick's grandma, but just saying somebody that you love or somebody you respect or somebody that represents something to you, is an important part of your life, dies, and for someone to get on your get under your skin, they make AI version of her voice to attack you and to tell you, "Oh, are you really the man?" Like, imagine that. Imagine I'm in a rap battle with you, and I create an AI version of your grandma's voice to say, "Come on, Sonny, you know you can get them. Come on, I know you can do better than that. Come on, what you doing? Don't run away. Don't be scared." Is that not disrespectful? Like, I don't understand. My brain cannot comprehend how people don't understand certain things. How do you not understand using a dead person's voice to antagonize somebody, not being disrespectful? Oh, it was just funny. But if it was your grandma, if it was your dead mama, it would be funny, right?
Pounds the insult. Even more recently, no doubt with your approval and possibly even at your request, your record label took down a well-publicized AI imitation of you and The Weeknd with a great deal of news coverage highlighting how
and that don't get talked about enough.
It was to you. Calling them out.
That do not get highlighted enough. It was it's not disrespectful when you take AI and Snoop Dogg's voice without their permission to go at Kendrick, but it's disrespectful when somebody creates almost a hit. That song was like almost a hit song. Creates an AI version of you and The Weeknd to make a song together. All of a sudden, it's disrespectful to you. It's only disrespectful in the context of you, but for some other people that aren't alive or people that didn't give you permission to do it, it's not disrespectful. It's just funny games. The hypocrisy.
For being a hypocrite. In response to the Pocket State, Drake went ahead and took the song down. I'm glad he did that. That's respectful. But, it's still up on YouTube. Anybody can go there and hear it anytime they want. The genie's out of the bottle. But that's the reaction from the Pocket State. Snoop went ahead and put up a cryptic Instagram video. But I wanted to know how this is landing in a real way. So I spoke with the legendary Edie Anon, entrepreneur, super MC, and member of Tupac's group, The Outlaws. I'll post a full conversation, but here's some of Edie's initial reactions to tailor-made freestyle.
You know what? I have not spoken to Snoop, but a little birdie told me he wasn't that happy about it. You know what I mean? But you saw his reaction on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Snoop is forever. I think he's not in, an issue, so to speak. I mean,
and that's the thing too. This reminds me of this the what's been going on. That statement right there reminds me of how, once again, it all comes back to just manipulate and what your perspective is. If you pick this side, then you're going to ignore certain things. You're not going to take certain things seriously because it doesn't fit the narrative that you want to fit. If you're on this side, then you're going to also ignore certain things if it don't fit the narrative you fit. Me, I'm in between. I don't care. I really don't care that much. I'm not. Neither artist for my person and personal top 10 list. Neither artists are my top 10 rappers. Not saying that they're not top 10 rappers in the full context of hip hop, but my personal favorite rappers, neither of them are in it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not that dedicated to either side. I'm just dedicated to what makes sense, the reality, and what was better for hip hop, whatever like that. So it's not like, oh, you're a Kendrick fan, or you're a Drake fan. I made a video about this a few months ago. I appreciate their contributions to the musical economy. I like the things that Kendrick has brought to us musically, and I like some of the things that Drake brought to us musically. I'm not a super fan or a fan of anybody. If I like your music, I like your music, and that's all it has to be. It doesn't have to be anything deeper than that. But anyway, this reminds me of when you imagine if somebody used your voice to insert you in beef that had nothing to do with you, right? That exact same statement, that exact same rhetoric, that exact same idea is what Young Thug and Lil Baby have been saying about Kendrick's verse on Not Like Us. We don't know why he brought us in the middle of his beef with Drake. That exact same sentiment is what they've been saying about, oh, he name dropped y'all and Not Like Us, whatever. Like, even though it wasn't really about them, it was about the total idea of, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Kendrick could have did the verse without mentioning Young Thug and Lil Baby, but I think specifically they were relevant to the subject matter of Thug got you saying slime. 2 Chainz said that you not what he said, whatever the fuck he said. Lil Baby, you took Lil Baby's lingo so you could be cool with the young kids, whatever like that. Like, that was the overall picture, was you use Atlanta to stay famous. You use Atlanta to get you, what he said, check balance, whatever like that. That was the whole point of it. But a lot of people took it personally, like, oh, I don't know why he put me in the middle of that beef. I don't know why, because I understand it's going to affect my relationship with Drake. If Drake, did he hear something from them? Did they complain to Kendrick about something? Like, I understand. But that's the exact same sentiment that someone can have about you using Snoop Dogg and Tupac's voice on the tailor-made freestyle. Why did you insert them into the beef? That had nothing to do with them. You took that step first. You understand what I'm saying? How you doing, Rafiq Kuidri? I don't know how to pronounce that. Kuidri?
It's just and giggles. It's like, well, hold on a second.
I might just make this a two-parter.
Was I just violated? You know what I'm saying? Was I just... And I don't know if you got...
Might do the first hour. We're going to do the first hour. Maybe.
Said, this is what's coming. I don't know. But put yourself in that position, see how you would feel about it. I think if they did what they felt was the right thing to do,
let me see them 1 second. 1 second.
That includes Drake.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure we want people to respect the code if the shoe is on the foot. The point is this: social media has been flooded with memes comparing Kendrick and Future and Metro and Ye and ASAP and The Weeknd and Rick Ross to Marvel superheroes.
Let's look at this picture though. Let's look at this picture though. I ain't gonna lie to you. This shit one-sided as hell. You got Kendrick, Future, Metro Boomin, The Weeknd, and Kanye versus Drake, J. Cole, 21 Savage, and Sexy Red. It's obviously one side that's gonna win. It's one side that's gonna win. You talking about Kanye and Kendrick by themselves could clean out J. Cole, 21 Savage, and Sexy Red. Just J. Cole, just Kendrick and Kanye by themselves. And then you add Future to it? That's not as even as people thought it was.
All teaming up to take down Dranos. I mean, but perhaps that metaphor contains too much truth. Thanos' mission, after all, was to snap away half the population of the universe because he felt it was overcrowded. In 2023, in his annual letter to Universal, Lucian Beach slammed the current streaming model. He stated that he feels there are too many songs uploaded to streaming platforms, too many artists are eligible for monetization, and there was too much artificial intelligence. This year, though, he's championing AI, confirming Universal is heavily invested in the tool capable of getting rid of half the people in the music industry. He told Fast Company, AI at the service of artists is a good thing, but AI that is used to harm or prevent artists from due compensation is a bad thing. So our approach is to embrace responsible AI technology in a way that enhances human creativity. How is this done? By letting artists lead the way. That approach is at the heart of our collaboration with YouTube, as well as our partnerships with BandLab and others.
And my daddy got it.
Our approach is to embrace responsible AI technology in a way that enhances human creativity. How is this done? By letting artists lead the way. Well, in that sense, this entire chapter of Rap Battle World feels like one big AI advertorial, spearheaded by the biggest entity in music, made palatable by Drake. Universal's #1 attack dog, armed with all the tools inside that behemoth's balance sheet. Drake's too big to fail financially, of course. None of his peers can realistically short his $400 million LeBron-sized deal, and he'll always have millions of fans around the world and essentially a decade of non-stop hit records, and the entire country of Canada holding him down. Drake's not going to go away. He's not going to vote himself off the island. He's not J. Cole. Reputations evolve. They can be chipped away, they can be rebuilt. Look at George W. Bush. W is the worst president of all time without question, and we know that because W broke the white streak to a nigga named Hussein Osama. That's how bad. Now he's a lovable old dude painting pictures of Putin. It can happen in either direction, and no one's exempt. Anybody can lose cultural cachet, and that includes Drake. And that's what I see when I see all these titans going at Drake at the same time. A man has been described as immoral, number-fixing, douchebag celebrity who calls the police on his homies, talk about their women in his music, shows a willingness to weaponize racism, and treats gods, rap gods, as pawns in his corporate AI advertorium. You can't take away Drake's money or his fans, but can you Avenger into his cultural cachet? Can Kendrick Lamar finally and officially pack that boy up? I don't know how to answer these questions.
Crazy. The funny thing is, sometimes sometimes somebody doesn't have to do it.
Yes, I do actually. Yes, I do actually have the answer to that question. The answer is resoundingly yes. Kendrick Lamar just dropped Euphoria. His response to Drake, 6 minutes of flames. Told that boy to stop saying nigga, y'all. This is what I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying. I've been editing this piece all weekend and trying to make improvements on the presentation. I appreciate y'all analysts for rocking with me, for sticking by this channel. I want to make a reaction. What's the reaction to all of this? What's your reaction to Euphoria? I'm definitely going to make a breakdown on the Kendrick side of this. That was always my initial intention, was to have the Kendrick side of this. This was more Drake focused. All of this to me looks like, especially with AI in play. So I appreciate you guys. Big shout out to all the analysts who continue to donate to the Linktree, holding me down. You guys are priceless. Yeah, I'm about to go get back into the lab here and start breaking down this Kendrick Lamar Euphoria. You guys let me know what you think. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow @thecompanyman on everything. Oh, big shout out to Idi Amin for appearing in this, giving his perspective on the estate, his perspective on TaylorMade Freestyle. Big shout out to my brother Mark Batson. Mark Batson did the new intro to this show, and he also kicked the rhymes on there too. So, you know, I got legends in my corner. What's better than that? All right, you guys are illest. Let me know what you think about Euphoria. Let me know what you think about all of this. My name is Justin Hunt. Like, subscribe to the channel. Follow @thecompanyman on everything. It's all happening.
I was gonna say, sometimes it don't even have to be.
So Drake.
Sometimes it doesn't even have to be what other people do. And life will tell you that you'll do it to yourself. You will do it to yourself, regardless of the context of certain things. Sometimes it isn't what people are doing to you. Sometimes it's you being so stuck in whatever mindset that you have. You will wind up sabotaging yourself. You will wind up hurting yourself and being your own downfall majority of the time. Because people can only do so much to you. But if you give in, you give up, or you let it happen to you. I won't say let it happen, but if you let your own ego, your own pride guide you through certain shit, you're gonna always wind up hurting yourself. And that's why I always tell people, like, give up that pride shit, that ego shit, that shit for the birds, bro. If you feel a certain way, or if there are things that need to be worked on, fuck that ego, fuck that pride, fuck what anybody gotta say. Like, take care of you. Make sure that you not moving like a dumbass all the time, just so you could be whatever the fuck you want to be. Moving like an asshole, being whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Because you think, oh, that's how I'm supposed to be because I'm hurt on the inside, but I don't know how to like.
So it's all happening with Justin Hunt. Looking at the Kendrick Lamar side of this beat, as I talked about in last week's episode, at the end of last week's episode, Drake deserves to smoke. But the story's moving too fast. The story is just moving too fast. The day I drop, Drake deserves to smoke. Euphoria dropped that same day. By the end of the week, K-Dot dropped 616 in LA. Last night, we get a response from Drake, Family Matters. And 30 minutes after Family Matters drops, we get another response from Kendrick, Meet the Grams.
Which was so crazy.
Oh my God, it's so skated. And then today, Kendrick drops Not Like Us. This is the one. This is the one of the four dissing. Don't get me wrong, all four of them are crazy. Kendrick Lamar is world.
And that's what I was just saying earlier. I was saying that one felt different. When that dropped, it was just a different feeling.
All about Drake.
You could feel like, oh yeah, it's over.
If Drake wasn't a real person, if he wasn't a real person, this is an incredible encapsulation of the fallacy of man. It would be must-hear listening even if Drake wasn't a real person. That's what the breakdown will go into. I'm going to put it. The story's moving too fast. So I want to give initial big view on what I see and where we are. One, Drake's in trouble. This might be it for Drake. And here's what I mean by that. This whole conversation is about culture, cultural cachet.
And that's the thing is people misinterpret. I don't know why people so fucking stupid. That's really the answer to a lot of questions that I have is because people are so fucking stupid. You understand what I'm saying? But when people say it's over for him, people assume that means, oh, his career's done. He's now going to be the least like people can only, for some apparent reason, think in extremes and extreme earlies. And I hate that shit because it's fucking stupid. That's not how real life works. People are so like just what they say, what's the term now? Chronically online. People are just so chronically online, chronically in their own fucking head that they only think in extremes. It's either here or here. There's no in between. When people say it's over for him, it's not about whether he can still sell records. Because people are like, oh, see, y'all thought it was over Drake, but he really blah, blah, blah. Like, no. Over means your perception, how you are looked at by the public or by a certain amount of people or a certain group of people. Some people that may have power, some people that can kind of control certain things a little bit more. How you're viewed and the access and opportunities that you have now ain't going to be as easy as they were before. And that's all that means when they say it's over. And so they're not saying that you're not you no more, but it just means, guess what? It's going to be a little harder. You got to work a little harder to get some of the things that you got before because you kind of fucked everything up because you ruined most of your relationships on the artist side. You ruined relationships with executives and you might have just ruined your own relationship with your record label. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, you're going to do it to yourself. When you're just in narcissism and you're so focused on you all the time, you're going to wind up hurting yourself. You're not a perfect human being. There's no way that you only thinking about you are going to always make the perfect decision all the time. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, like, yeah, when people say it's over, it's not about, oh, now you're about to get 100 streams every song and nobody's about to listen to you. No, because some people don't care that much. But the people that care, the people that were affected by whatever's going on, the people that you crossed, guess what? Now they have, okay, now we don't have to put them on. We don't have to give them as much radio play no more. We don't have to do this anymore. We don't have to do that anymore. We don't have to manipulate these things anymore because guess what? We don't have to anymore. Now we can focus on other things that are more important because he done fucked everything up for himself. You understand what I'm saying?
But Drake Deserves to Smoke was about in the first place. This is about all the dicey things that Drake has done per these artists and per reports, not necessarily what I'm saying. Well, all this is outlined in the last episode. But all the dicey things he's done, the maneuvering, the sneak dissing, the culture vulturing, arguably, and how that is that
culture vulturing is funny.
Why all these types Euphoria left breadcrumbs that show up again in 616 in LA, left more breadcrumbs that show up again in Meet the Grams, and now he dropped a hit record. This is a hit song. It's gonna go. Not like us. Straight West Coast, bouncy.
This is being said. This is being said before Hard Part 6. He said this before Hard Part 6. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna go. This is the hit record. This is what people were saying before it became what it was. So to say, oh, it was manipulated. Oh, there's lies. It was bots. It was this. No, you can feel it. People can feel with hit record. People can feel when something is about to be huge. People felt when Not Like Us dropped, people felt, oh, this is about to be crazy. And it was. So to go into lawsuits and stuff like that and be like, oh, it was manipulated and people being paid by the labels to say these things and make this song bigger than it was. No, it was a hit record song. And this is the thing. This is why it's funny. As a person that says I have the most hit records of all time, or I'm for a solo artist or whatever the statistic is, for a person that believes that, for you not to recognize a hit record, for you not to know, oh yeah, this is going to go just from your own musical perspective, when you take this, depersonalize yourself from a conversation and you listen to it and you're like, oh yeah, this is going to be big. This is going to be crazy. A lot of people felt that when 50 Cent dropped In the Club back in the day. When the club dropped, people was like, oh shit. Like, that's how people felt. Oh shit. And the whole 50's coming back, yo. We gotta watch out. You could feel it. It makes me question, okay, if you can't recognize a hit record from hearing it, from just the feel when it dropped, if you can't recognize that, it makes me question some of your hit records. Right?
So don't beat first thing you hear, and Kendrick really doesn't let up at all. On the track, he said, Certified Lover Boy is Drake's album. This song is so danceable. It's gonna have chicks out here shaking ass through Certified Lover Boy, Certified. The cover art is Drake's house with a bunch of red arrows on top that's supposed to be where you will find your local sex trafficker. It is danceable. It is club ready. It is ready for the function. It is ready for the.
And that's something that Drake could have brought in. That was one of his biggest mistakes. Besides the context of the content of what he was doing, the context of what he was saying. Besides that, what could have got Drake was to make his music a little bit to be Drake in the battle. You have the hit records, you have the songwriting ability, the hook writing ability to make a hit record off of a diss track. I feel like Push Up was the attempt, but it was too try hard. And that's what I kept telling my friends when this was going on, was these records sound too try hard. They don't sound like natural hits. They sound like forced hits. He kept trying to do these little things. Shake your ass for Drake and take that ass for me. Like, you were trying to force these moments in there. Like, you were trying to force these moments in there. It has to come natural. It has to be in a structure. Most of the time, like, he made a verse hook. Why you didn't do that? You are the king of verse hook. But you didn't do that. You didn't. You brought your weaknesses to a battle, and someone beat you with your strengths. You could have beat him if you had made better songs, not better raps, better songs. Because he beat you with a song. He didn't beat you with raps, even though he did beat you with raps. But he beat you with a song structured like a song with a hook and verses and context and catchiness and danceability. That's how he won. Versus the and the raps and the strategy and all that shit too.
Drake had a few options on Family Matters, and I think, in my opinion, he missed his opportunity. Family Matters was his window. He was not prepared for how prepared Kendrick Lamar is, which is crazy to me. Kendrick Lamar is playing some of the most detailed, sprawling, storytelling albums. They haven't dropped anything that isn't connected to a broader story, a broader narrative, a broader conversation. If you're going to go battle Kendrick Lamar, you cannot take regular one-off beef song approach.
Right.
Ever since Back to Back, we've looked at Drake as someone who is very strategic in his battles. He's talked about it in several interviews. I've talked about that in several Drake pieces, one of which, How to Beat Drake in a Rap Beef. That was proven correct by Pusha T. We're seeing it now extrapolated in a way grander way with everything that Kendrick Lamar and TDE is doing. But that was Drake's window to say whatever he had to say. It took an entire week, but he had some great visuals, put out family.
And another one of the biggest mistakes versus you not beating Kendrick to make a song diss track. You not beating him there was a big mistake. And another big mistake was you tried to focus on too many people at one time. There was no reason to say this. There was no reason for you. The opponent was right in front of you, and you spent too much time trying to shoot at everyone else. I understand that you're trying to paint this idea that I'm being jumped and this and that, but it was only one time. You did it with push-ups. You did not have to do it again. You did not have to do it again, because everyone you shot at everyone you shot at on push-ups did not reply except for Rick Ross. You could have spent most of Family Matters going at Kendrick and did a little shot at Rick Ross, but you kind of doubled back and went back at everybody that you went at before as if they replied to the fact that you went at him before. You could have gave them push-ups, and if Family Matters could have been the one where it's like, all right, it's me and you now, let's go. And the only time that you spend a whole verse going at Kendrick is the Heart Part 6. And that is you playing defense, waving the white flag. You understand what I'm saying? So not only was his strategy wrong, but his focus, he didn't focus on his opponent enough. Kendrick was only going at you. Only going at you. And your reply to one person whooping your ass was to keep acting like you was getting jumped. And then when he was done whooping your ass, you just like, nah, man, enough is enough, bro. I'm waving the white flag, man. You got this played out, bro.
Allegations about Dave Free, Kendrick's father, being actually the father of one of Kendrick's kids. He said it in a very Trumpian way. He said, I heard one of the kids may be Dave Freeze, something to that effect. It sounded like when Trump says, people are saying.
Right.
People are saying. I'm not sure there's validity in that. He also accuses Kendrick Lamar of abusing Whitney, domestic violence. Harsh, dangerous accusation. I can't speak on whether or not it's true. I know that Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers on We Cry Together, it sounds like TDE, if that is the case, got ahead of it by even allowing that song and video to play out the way it did.
I never watched the video for We Cry Together.
For your life. That is a fight that's taking place in that song. Can't call it. He makes another calculated mistake in the beginning of the song when he says, always rapping like you about to get the slaves free.
Another big mistake.
Always rapping like you about to get the slaves free. This is a very outside culture thing to say, well, he is under the scope.
Let's put this in the context of a real rap battle. Real rap battle. Conceited versus whoever, Loaded Love versus whoever. Let's put this in context of a real rap battle. 3 rounds. Imagine 3 rounds. 3 rounds, 2 battle rappers. One battle rapper for the majority of 3 rounds is cooking the other battle rapper repeatedly, over and over again, breaking down his character, breaking down his flaws, breaking down his psyche, doing all these things for 3 rounds. And the other battle rapper that he's going against, for 2 of those rounds, throws shots at every other rap battler in the scene and mentions the person he's battling every now and then, but mostly shoots at every other battle rapper. And then in the 3rd round, after he done lost the first 2 because he wasn't focused on it, now he's like, all right, man, you got this battle, bro. You going too far. You taking it. You doing too much. This and that. Imagine that's your 3rd round in a rap battle. You saying, all right, bro, enough is enough. You going too far. This and that. I know you got a lot more to say. Go ahead and say it. You're going to be talking to the wall. I don't care anymore. What the fuck? That would be an insane rap battle to see. And that's what we got in a mainstream streaming era way. A rap battle where somebody cooks somebody for 3 rounds and the other person basically tries to act like they're bigger than the entire battle and then give up in the last one. Like, it's, if people don't understand that concept, that it goes back to people just
challenging his cultural passion.
People not really using their brain.
Today are not like us.
Thinking with their emotions and not with the actual brain.
The 4th verse of this track is a mosque. Kendrick Lamar addresses that point specifically. He says, once upon a time, all of us was in chains. Homie still doubled down, calling us some slaves. Atlanta was the Mecca, building
profile at a casino, then refer to black people as slaves, and then you still expect people to kind of look at you the same. It goes back to that, like, what he was talking about in the first piece, where it's just like, bro, you ain't helping yourself. You call a rapper racist for calling you a white boy. You say that you were being profiled at a casino because they wouldn't let you break the law. And now and it's not his first time making slave jokes. He said whipped and chained like American slaves on, I think it was Slime You Out on Fall the Dog, something like that. And then you say, why you rapping like you trying to get the slaves freed? Who are the slaves? Like, come on, man. You do it to yourself. Running theme. You do it to yourself. Ain't nobody conspiring against you, bro. You did it to yourself. UMG didn't write those lyrics. UMG didn't write those lyrics. UMG didn't tell you to say that. You chose to say that. UMG didn't tell you to call Rick Ross racist. You chose to do that. UMG did not tell you to wave the white flag after Not Like Us. You chose to do that. You did it to UMG did not tell you to file a lawsuit over a diss song. You chose to do that. You understand what I'm saying?
Drake again for one of his weird Canadian comments he makes in this direction. Again, Drake just said, always rapping like he's about to get the slaves free. It's not the first time he's made lines like that. On the song Slime You Out, in SZA, he says, whip and chain you like American slaves. Whip and chain you like American slaves. It's weird, at best. Kendrick calls him out on it. Again, he says, bear with me for a second, let me put you on game. The settlers was using town folk to make them richer. Fast forward 2024, you got the same agenda. Talking to Drake now. You run to Atlanta when you need a check balance. Let me break it down for you. This is the real nigga challenge. Going straight at this culture, cachet, angle, beating it over the head. He's been doing it all week. All week. Drake shows up on Family Matters.
He has. That was another thing people don't really talk about that much. When he says, have you ever played Have You Ever? That's the first little shot of, are you really, have you ever played Have You Ever? You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things that he just was sprinkling in there. If you were street smart, you would know it when they're trying to finesse you or whatever it was he said. Sprinkling these things of, you don't really know what's going on. You don't understand. You're going to question question how much you really, how a part of this you really are. And you just exposed yourself every single time. Every single time you expose yourself, he kept on sprinkling these little things. Have you ever played Have You Ever? Let's play the real nigga challenge. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were street smart, you would know this and that. Like, just
all rapping like you about to get the slaves free.
Words have power.
Kendrick on a hit song. This will be a hit song. On the fourth verse, is saying this to him. He keeps going. You run to Atlanta when you need a check balance. Let me break it down for you. This is the real nigga challenge. You called Future when you didn't see the club. Little Baby helps you get your lingo up. 21 gave you false street cred. That's 21 Savage. 21 gave you false street cred. Thug made you feel like a slime in your head, Young Thug. Quavo said you could be from the north side. Quavo Amigos. 2 Chainz said you good, but he lied. These are all people that Drake has made hit records with.
I'll have to think about it.
Future.
When was it? Okay, so 2 Chainz, I'm trying to think when the last time some of these artists were on a Drake project. I do remember, I feel like the last Drake and Migos song I remember was Culture 3. That where he said that the airplane line, which that song is fire. What's the fucking line? What's the name of the song? I can't remember, but what he say damn. But I think that was the last time, and that was like 2021. That was like maybe before or after Certified Lover Boy, I think. Last time I think last time 2 Chainz was on 2 Chainz and Drake did a song together, period, might have been like late 2010s. I think he was on that album with the Pink House. I feel like Drake was on that project. I can't remember, but that was like 2017, 2018. Young Thug wasn't on. I think Young Thug was on Certified Lover Boy. Future was on Certified Lover Boy. But after that, Future wasn't on for All the Dogs. He wasn't on Her Loss. Who was the other name that he said? Lil Baby. I think Lil Baby was on Certified Lover Boy. Yeah, and that's another thing. For All the Dogs feels a little different is because it lacked. I'm trying to think what I think is a better project. I don't really go to none of them, to be honest with you. Her Loss, of course, I feel like is the best project out of everything he's put out this decade. I personally feel Her Loss was the best one. Certified Lover Boy, it's about what with Certified Lover Boy and For All the Dogs. I ain't gonna lie. I don't go to any of them for real, for anything. Like, I'll listen to it, laugh at everything he's saying because it's the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard a grown man say, and I'll just move on. I'll like a few songs, but it's not much that I'll go back to. I've been saying this for years, that I personally like Drake in small doses. I feel like when it comes to albums, everything's bloated, everything's repetitive, everything sounds the same. It just sounds a bunch of bitching and moaning and complaining about nonsense, but then bragging at the same time how great your life is. I don't know. It's so weird. But I like him in doses. Her Loss, where he's not on every single song and the project isn't really that long. You get what was that EP with the Lil Baby song, the Rick Ross song, and he had the song by itself. I think it was like 3 or 4 songs. I really like that project. Him just in small doses, I feel like is always the best. When it comes to bloated project, which I don't really like in most artists with bloated projects. I hate long projects. I really do. Chris Brown is like maybe one of the only artists that I feel does long projects really good because he's so versatile when it comes to sounds and his vocals and stuff like that. Some of the songs are going to sound similar, but that may be if you're comparing songs from albums to songs from albums. But you're going to get different types of R&B throughout a Chris Brown project. It's all going to sound good. It's always going to have good melodies. It's always going to have. I think Chris Brown, in my opinion, does long projects better than anybody that tries to do these long projects. I don't like long projects, but if there's one artist that I would want a long project from, it would be Chris Brown.
21 hit albums. Called him out for having to stand next to them for acceptance and approval. And don't get me wrong, Drake has more hit records than anyone else. He has 13 number one songs. That's crazy.
Right.
That's how talented he is. That's how amazing he is. You run to Atlanta when you need a few dollars. You're not a colleague. You're a fucking colonizer. Going straight at this culture card once again. Here's Drake again. We talked about this in the Drake Deserves to Smoke breakdown. This is Drake, the man who's been described as immoral, number-fixing, douchebag celebrity who talks about other people's women in their music, messes with their money, shows a willingness to weaponize racism and treats gods, rap gods, like pawns in this corporate AI laboratory. This one hurts. What Kendrick just says right here on Not Like Us, this one is going to hurt. This is going to be loud. This is going to be cars. And it's directly against
turning that hypnosis off.
Let's put all these tracks together. This is the thing I like about this. First of all, I feel we're in the middle of a Kendrick Lamar album rollout. This is an album rollout we're experiencing. This, from Euphoria to 616 in LA to Meet the Grams to now Not Like Us. You have Euphoria, a dense layered, crazy diss track where that leaves breadcrumbs, six layer entendres. Almost every bar can be read and interpreted at least 3 to 4 different ways. The song went number 2 on Spotify's global top 50. It's been called the number 1 song this year for a rap artist, the highest streaming song on Spotify this year for a rap artist. Had people for a week dissecting these lyrics. That song is big. Drake is the numbers guy. The next one, this Euphoria also has a Teddy Pendergrass sample, keeping the cultural and the lineage of hip hop music and sounds and sampling and black music.
Everything would take
the next one is an Al Green sample. 616 in LA uses an Al Green sample. Continue some of the breadcrumbs from Euphoria. I'll break that down into more eloquent. It's all happening in the episode. Don't worry. Then, 30 minutes after Drake drops Family Matters, Kendrick pushed the button on Meet the Grams, which is a scathing, super scathing 5-verse letter to each member of Drake's family, talking about how terrible.
And that's the one mistake. And I won't say the one mistake, but that's one of the mistakes Kendrick made in the battle. Kendrick didn't make as many mistakes as Drake because Drake's mistakes were very like, you play defense. You kept playing defense. At a certain point, you started playing defense, and that's where you kind of fell short. But one of the mistakes Kendrick made was mentioning something without full context. I mean, not full context, without full verification of what you mentioned. I still don't know if that daughter is real or not, or if the daughter was a representation of something else. Some people are saying the daughter was a representation of the women that attached themselves to Drake at a certain point, and how he abandoned them. He would eventually abandon them to go into another direction when it comes to subject matter, whatever like that. Drake did have a firm grasp on women in the very beginning of his career. And then at a certain point, a switch just flipped and he started to become way more misogynist. Even though he's always been misogynist, it was just he was able to mask it more. But now he's become a lot more misogynist, a lot more braggadocious, a lot more narcissistic, a lot more just sociopathic and stuff like that. And it pushed away a lot of women, especially that one song. I can't remember the name of it, but it's on Scary Hours edition, whatever the fuck it's called. It was on there, and basically the entire song, I think it was called Untied Shoes, something about shoes, I can't remember. But majority of the song was basically Drake dissing women on Twitter, mostly black women, dissing black women. The entire song was basically Drake just throwing shots at black women that complained about him or had to say anything bad about him on Twitter. It was a weird song when I was hearing. I'm like, why is he for what? You know what I'm saying? But that's what happened. So I do that is a theory that people were saying that the daughter was a representation of, you know, his female fan base and how he abandoned them and started leaning more into the manosphere and the right wing manosphere type of crowd. He starts attaching himself to Aiden Ross and doing certain things like that. So that is a theory. But I feel like if you're not trying to think of it that far and you're looking for a literal daughter, I don't think you're wrong for that. I don't think you're wrong for being like, you said that there was a daughter and there wasn't a daughter. I think that was a mistake on his part. If you don't have evidence to prove that there is a daughter out there, you shouldn't have mentioned it. Took the verse out unless you did have that evidence to like. I'd have made the Not Like Us. If you have evidence of that daughter, make the Not Like Us, not the Meet the Grams cover. You picture with the daughter, or Drake with the daughter, or something like that. You understand what I'm saying? But you mentioning that, people looking for it, and if it's true or not true, you could say the same thing about Drake and the wife beating situation. And you don't have no evidence of him beating on his wife or whatever like that. So you bringing it up. Now people are trying to look for validity in that statement. You understand what I'm saying? So I do feel like that was a mistake on Kendrick's part. But it wasn't bad enough for him to lose the battle. And because somebody was beating their own ass at the same time that you would beat
their ass. He talks to his son, says his son's a black man. While everybody's calling Drake white boy, Kendrick talks to Drake's son and says, "You're a black man." And
that's why racism doesn't matter in this context. It isn't about you being half white or you being Jewish. It's about who you are as a person.
Talks to Drake's dad, said he did a terrible job, and then he talks to Drake straight up. It's a beautiful song. It's haunting at the same time, tearing this man down from the core of who he is as a person. Calls him out for having gambling problems, pill popping problems, money problems, sex addiction. And then he follows it up today with this. This is a Shakespearean shakedown. We're witnessing a Shakespearean shakedown from Kendrick Lamar. It's landed on Drake's lap, and he's not handling it well. He's losing the chess match, he's losing on bars, and he's losing on the numbers war. Family Matters had a whole video and came out first. It's trending number one on YouTube. At the time of this recording, it has about 9 million views. Meet the Grams came out 30 minutes after. It's trending number 2. No video, just a picture, has 10 million views. A million views more. Euphoria outperformed Push-Ups. Euphoria is the number 1 rap song this year, released by a rapper on Spotify. Like that, where Kendrick at least announced that he was doing this. When he goes at Drake and J. Cole, we talked about that as well on Drake Deserves to Smoke. Number 1 song in the world for 3 weeks.
And that's why, that's another reason, and this is why this defamation thing is just going to fall apart. Is because painted as if Not Like Us came out of nowhere and that Drake was minding his, and all of a sudden UMG and Kendrick Lamar conspired to drop a song that was going to destroy Drake and ruin his reputation. That's how they're trying to paint it. They're not trying to mention a rap battle or whatever like that. Even in the thing, they'd be like, oh, they're trying to paint it like this was this rap battle, but it was really a convoluted scheme to try and attack Drake's character and this and that. And it's like, they're trying to paint it as if Not Like Us was inorganically a big song and that it dropped out of nowhere and that UMG pushed the button on it, this and that. Forgetting that Like That was a number 1 song. Euphoria was a big song. Everything that Kendrick dropped was big. This one was just a bomb. Meet the Grams was a big song. Like, you're not going to act like everything else flew under the radar, but Not Like Us was the one that broke through. Every single thing that both of y'all dropped, you and Kendrick dropped, were breaking through. One just kept surpassing yours. And you can say, oh, it was because of the bots. It was because of the bots. Or it's because somebody's impact is a lot bigger than yours in real life, in the real world. Not on the internet, not with the fake streams and this and that, not with the narrative changing and the bought followers. In real life, in the real world, somebody just has more dedicated fans. Somebody appeals to people a little bit more as far as character. When we talk about, because a lot of people are like, oh, a lot of rappers become background music and this and that. A lot of the reason for that is because of the watered downness of it and this and that going on. But when you have been the representation of hip hop for a long period of time, and then you start getting into this time period where people in general are saying hip hop ain't the same anymore, it's becoming background music, it's not as good as it used to be, there's no real talent, there's no real skill, this and that. And you are the biggest representation of the time, which is where the conversation really is comes from, is you had the reins for a certain amount of time and people were saying hip hop is dying, hip hop is getting watered down, everybody sounds the same, everybody's doing the same thing. That is what was going on for years throughout the 2020s. You had the reins, you were king, and all it really did was just water down, dumb down, and almost kill the soul of the entire genre. So then when somebody who encapsulates that soul comes in and is like, hey bro, you doing a bad job. And you lose to him, it's a little different. When the real thing comes back, you just got to deal with it.
The numbers. He's losing the art war, and Kendrick Lamar is doing the same thing that we've never seen on any of his other albums, selling well-crafted, nuanced stories. He's painting a picture, a psychological profile of Drake. It's a Shakespearean shakedown, compelling even if Drake isn't a real person. And all things considered, whatever haymakers are necessary
that would be
battle rap, we have to reveal some embarrassing something, possibly some criminal something about who you're battling. Whatever that haymaker is, hasn't been revealed yet. It's not allegedly that Drake has another kid. There are plenty of reports online saying that that was false.
Right.
I can't call it. But it wasn't that. Apparently it wasn't. Not like us. Mustard on the beat, supremely danceable, funny, quippy, certified lover boy, certified pal. Chicks are about to be shaking asses, certified lover boys. TE, as they've always done. This isn't, let me get this off my chest and scream at somebody I don't like. This feels like a Kendrick Lamar elite storytelling rollout to a project, much like we've always and only seen come out of the Kid's catalog. If we look up halfway through this year and it's like a 12-song album and this is on it, all these songs are on it, and it plays into a bigger narrative about what happens with ego or culture vulturing, or drug addiction, or sex addiction, what happens, like the downfall of man, I wouldn't be surprised. If you take these 4 songs right now and call it the I Hate Drake EP, it's the number one in the world right now. The attention to detail, the narrative that is running through these songs.
That's the thing. Some people are mad at GNX for not having Not Like Us on there, which I always kept saying from the beginning. There are certain artists that play that type of game. They would drop a big song, and to help boost the sales of their music, they will put that big single on the project to help the sales and help all the things like that. Kendrick to me has never been that type of artist. If a big song from Kendrick drops, is usually going to be for the project, in the context of the project. He's not going to drop a song that has one context and then because it's a big song, put it on there. Like, there's a reason why DNA and Humble and these songs were on the project, because they fit the narrative of the album. They were singles off the album versus Not Like Us. Has nothing to do with that. Well, people thought that, oh, it's an album rollout and it's going to be on a project, whatever like that. But the context of it was specifically the context of the situation that he was in at the time. So I didn't expect him to just take Not Like Us and just throw it on GNX. And then you wind up getting TV off and squabble up. So did it really need Not Like Us? I don't think so, personally. And Luther. Luther has been the biggest song this year. Hip hop, whatever, number 1 song in the country. It didn't need Not Like Us on there. It didn't. And Not Like Us is still what, top 40, top 25 song in the country?
Moving too fast.
And it's a year, it's been a year.
I have to put something on it. This is a Shakespearean shakedown by Kendrick Lamar, and he's going at Drake, who in my opinion is Elvis in his final form. Because he gets to say nigga. And this isn't about race. This is about culture and heritage. This isn't about being biracial. This is about what you do and how you behave with the position you've been blessed with. How you treat people. All the things that Kendrick and Rick Ross and all the white boy charges that are going at Drake, J. Cole doesn't have these problems. This isn't that. This isn't race hustling. This is a culture conversation. And Drake has been eating off black culture. He's been eating off the titans of this space, of this era, since he showed up with Houston Atlanta Vegas, since Young Money Cash Money, since So Far Gone. And everything was fine until he got a little too cocky, until he started messing with people's money, until he started messing with their women. In this song, Not Like Us, Kendrick says that Drake had sex with Lil Wayne's girlfriend while Lil Wayne was in jail, and then got a tattoo of Lil Wayne on his body as an apology. But it's other things. It's when you start saying whip and chain you like slaves. It's when you start saying things like you rap too much about wanting to free the slaves. One of the critical touch points.
And Wayne told Drake at the beginning, you don't have to get tattoos, you don't have to sit lean, you don't have to be me, beat yourself.
Where Drake dissed
and he wound up getting braids and tattoos.
On a game song. He said, I would have all your fans if I stayed on some conscious shit. It's not even about putting out political music. It's not even about
stayed on conscious shit as if you ever was on it.
It's none of those things. Drake has a tendency now to diss people who embrace and embody and make that kind of music. He disses people for having a message. He's he is Elvis in his final form. That
is crazy. That is a running thing. Even on Nokia, he talks about, and I don't know what's his issue with that. Maybe it's like, I don't know, and it's kind of like infiltrated the fan mindset of, oh, nobody wants to hear meaning. People don't want to, like, and people do. That's usually the stuff that usually goes the most. But it is this narrative of nobody wants to hear that conscious shit. Nobody wants to hear about this and that. We just want to vibe. We just want to have fun. We just want to do this and that. Yeah, vibe only gets you so far. Sorry to tell you, vibe only gets you so far. Vibe only gets you so far. But what he said on Nokia, no, not Nokia. What's the name of that song? Is it Give Me the Hug, Give Me a Hug? Where it's talking about 28-year-old girls twerking with a dictionary or something like that. Like, it goes into the whole anti-intellectualism agenda that's been pushed for however long. Because if you're not looking to be educated, if you're not smart, then you are easier to manipulate. You're easier to lie to. It's easier to paint certain pictures to you and for you to comprehend them and understand them as the truth, even though they're lies. You understand what I'm saying? That's not just a music thing. It's how politics is done. It's how everything is done. It's how you grasp the people. You keep them out of the loop. You keep them uneducated. You make sure that they don't know certain things to be able to fight against certain things. If you keep them like that, then you can tell them anything and they'll believe it. So when somebody like that is on a big platform, one of the biggest artists in the world, and is telling you, don't nobody want to hear that conscious shit. Oh yeah, bitches ain't gonna be. Oh yeah, this is what they ain't playing that shit in the clubs and this and that. Like, who cares? Who cares? You understand what I'm saying? But when you want to try and paint that, oh, if I keep everybody dumbed down, then they won't realize that this is a bunch of bullshit that I'm feeding them.
Again, this is how he's treated the people around him, and how he has leached off of this culture, while also deriding people who do decide to have a message, who do choose to talk about things that are bigger than themselves. All these things I've broken down before in the Is Drake Black Excellence episode, for example. And Drake Dope piece, to be honest, that really investigates this particular point. When you start making music, when you start making art that comes from any community, and at some point, stop showing respect to that community, and then also start dissing people for speaking up for that community, you've reached Elvis territory.
Right.
That's what I see when I see all this again. All these titans going at Drake. They're going at his culture card. Like I said in the last video, he's not going to be broke. He's always going to have fans. But they are pushing him to Post Malone, Clarence Thomas territory. They are treating him like Kid Rock. Mm-hmm. And truthfully, as I see it, Drake deserves to smoke. This is quick and dirty. I'm still going to put, but I got it. I had to get this one out because not like us, that is the one. That one's going to follow Drake around forever. There's a lot more skating lines in that song. I printed out all the lyrics. I have them right.
Thing is, you could drop as many hit records, and this thing people don't understand because people only look at it from.
The Drake should have never made that statement. Matters.
Please me,
Kendrick,
me mindset. Oh, just give us the hits, and everything's going to be all right. It's not about the hits. It was never about hit records. It was never about record sales. It was never about streams. It was never about that. And people just can't get that out of their head. Because one of the songs got to be one of the biggest songs, they think, oh, it's all about the numbers. Oh, he's lost the numbers. He's not going to lose his fans. Because, believe it or not, which some people, for some reason, don't want to believe it or not, the culture that Kendrick is talking about, protecting black culture, the cultural cachet, all those things, believe it or not, majority of Drake's fan base are not of that culture. So all these things, these rules and all this stuff like that, that we're saying, oh, that's going to ruin him, that's going to end him. It's not going to end him because his fan base doesn't majority consist of the people that all these things apply to. But the very little of those people that did exist in his fan base will start looking at him a little funny. It won't be everyone. Trust me, I know it won't be everyone. But a portion of them will go. The ones that don't care about black culture, the ones that don't care about, they just want to vibe, they just want to dance, they just want to have fun. So be it. So have it. Have your fun. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But it's just gonna change a lot. You understand what I'm saying? The sales is gonna sell. But the impact ain't gonna be the impact. The influence ain't gonna be the influence. For everyone. For everyone. But anyways, we're gonna come back to this maybe tomorrow. Maybe Tuesday. I don't know. We're gonna come back to this later on and keep watching it. Or maybe we'll just leave it here. Maybe we'll just leave it here and I'll watch it in my own free time or whatever like that. But I'm about to hop on Twitch and we're going to live stream on Twitch for a little bit. Sim Saturday, whatever like that. But that's it for me. I'm out. Too soon.